game, the 4:30 Sunday game, Everton versus Arsenal. It'll be Adrian first here. Quick look at the betting that we currently have. Matchbook.com to set it up. We've Everton 6.4, Arsenal short enough 1.56. The draw is 4.8. Both teams to score yes 1.8 here. No is 2.1. The Asian handicap line sees Everton get a 1-goal head start at 2.04, and the goal line here 2.5. But the team again, it's a heavy favourite towards the over at 1.67. Adrian. So look, whoever is that Arsenal have had a terrible record recently in Goodison Park. I was at one of them when we were 1-0 up cruising. We decided to waste time, wind the crowd up, and Rafa Benitez got his 1 win in 15. And there was last year Sean Dyche's debut. There's plenty of ways we go, and I just don't think the market makers have any sort of clue what's going on here, because Arsenal don't do well at Goodison Park. And
just back Everton. Back Everton 1-0. It's bound to be, isn't it? So, no matter how bad Everton are, and make no mistake, they are a bad team. They always seem to beat Arsenal at Goodison. I'm going to say that this time around, Arsenal will have learned their lessons. That Mikel Arteta will. I think there'll be a steely determination not to get Dyche again. Sean Dyche, relishes this kind of fixture, but I just think that they're a very weak team. Central midfield is okay, actually, for Everton. They're not too bad in there, but I think at the back, it's a weak back four, and up front they're short on options. Obviously, Beto looks okay early on, but yeah, look at Everton. Really, they've played Fulham, Villa, Wolves, and Sheffield United, and they've blanked in 3 of those games. It's not a tough start. Yeah, they failed to score, in 75% of those. So, yeah, there was a temptation, I've got to say, to back Arsenal to win to 0, which was my pick for the game at Palace. 2.88 you can get on that. So that is something to consider. But Everton's record against Arsenal at home, and maybe their strength at set pieces, just puts me off of that a little bit. I can maybe see them nicking something from a dead ball. As I said, Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite and Young was their back four in the last game. I think Arsenal's front guys can rip them apart. I really do. And I think the idea will be for Arsenal to control the game, control territory, play it in Everton's half, because they don't want to soak up any pressure. The last thing Arsenal want to be doing here is giving away corners and free kicks, because that is the area that Everton will target. So I think if the Gunners can just pin them back, play their football, they should have enough quality to get the job done. I do think that win against Man United might have released the tension a little bit. There was, there was not that much flow, but there was such a high that they went out onto the international break here. I think that they've got a little bit of momentum there now, and I think Gabriel Jesus will probably come back in and lead the line. So yeah, you've got to, on quality, you've got to back Arsenal here. You've got to see them as strong favourites, but Everton don't give up that many chances. They're not a total car crash without the ball. It's more going forward where they struggle. So I think they can keep it under 4.5 Everton, but I would back the Gunners here.
Okay, yeah, Arsenal under 4.5 goals. The selection for Adrian Clarke. Mark, you're under similar lines. Adrian touched on Ashley Young. When I heard recently enough that Ashley Young actually played with Sean Dyche, and Sean Dyche captain Ashley Young, I sort of went, that's maybe that's not probably what Everton fans wanted to hear. I was unaware of that.
I didn't know that either, but I guess it would have been at Watford, I'd imagine, because I mean, Everton, where do you start with them? Because the rhetoric after the Sheffield United match was from the Everton contingent was very much this is a huge missed opportunity, and that's been a bit of a theme about their season so far. The home matches against Wolves and Fulham deserve much more than defeats. They deserve probably the better of the Sheffield United match, but they were absolutely splattered by Villa away from home. So winless without a clean sheet and sort of struggling to score fluently. You can see why the spotlight is on Dyche and Everton, but his teams are traditionally built from the back and built through organisation and work rate. But you guys have sort of touched on it, but Everton's summer transfer business kind of weakened their defensive options, really. There was very much a focus on the final third, and things aren't clicking there. Beto, I think, is a capable Premier League striker, but he's not going to score 20 goals a season. He will lead the line and be physical, bring others into play, and I do think they've got some nice options out wide when they're fit and available. The central midfield should be capable of a battle, but so far this season, as Adrian says, they've played sort of 3 bottom half teams at best, and kind of taken a single point out of those games against Blades, Fulham and Wolves. So perhaps variance might bounce back their way on Sunday because of that strong Goodison Park record against Arsenal. But I'm not going to sort of back Everton at those kind of prices, even against Arsenal, because the Asian handicap here is, Arsenal are odds on -1. So I think the opportunity to back Arsenal again around even money by just including under 4.5 goals stands out to me. Arsenal were actually slightly shorter in terms of the odds going into this game last season. I didn't think they did a huge amount wrong in that 1-0 defeat to Everton, and I think we saw a very similar performance at Crystal Palace in their first away game this season, where they did manage to grind out the victory. And I think a similar sort of matchup is probably in store, and Arsenal just have that extra quality that's required. And they have been terrific on their travels over the last year. 12 wins from 16 away to teams outside the top 5 since last season. 10 of those victories alongside clean sheets. 10 of those victories also alongside under 4.5 goals. And I think the opportunity there to back Arsenal from 1.56 to 2.02 by just including under 4.5 goals does stand out to me again, similar to what Man City. Arteta played a few more round pegs and round holes against United. The defence started to look a bit more familiar to what we're expecting, and with Gabriel Jesus also sort of bumping up that forward line too. You're not far off a first choice 11 there, so they should be looking at Everton and going there and getting 3 points. And as the market and the odds suggest, that they should really be picking up top honours here. So yeah, happy to back them at 2.02 alongside under 4.5 goals.
Okay, yeah, we will lock that in. Agreement with the guys. Arsenal under 4.5 goals, 2.02.